share my screen with you so we can start slowly. Where is it? Yes, here. Hello, everyone. Today, we will learn some sentence completion question type. We will learn how to solve them. I will be sharing with you some tips and strategies, and we will look at two audio and some questions and answers. In this question type, the questions come up in the same order with the text. So, first, you will hear the answer for the question 1, then you will hear the answer for question 2. Use the word from the passage from the listening. You should use the same words. We are not changing them, we are not using the synonyms, we are just writing what we heard. And pay attention to the word limit. If the question says you can write no more than 3 words, and if you write 4 words, even if your answer is correct, it will be counted as wrong. Let's say our answer is let's say the question says beautiful day, and but in the audio you have heard what a beautiful day. If you write "What a beautiful day," it will accept it as wrong because it is 4 words and my question asks for 2 words. Yes, check if the word you choose matching with the grammatical structure of the sentence. If my question, if the blank is asking for a noun, and if I write here a verb, my question will be wrong. Check your spelling once you finish the audio. First listen to audio and just write it, but when the audio has finished, then you can check your spelling, so it will save you time. Pay attention to the meaning all the time, because okay, we are, as an answer, we are writing it from the audio what we heard, the same thing, but the questions will be paraphrased. So it will be like you will hear different words in the text and in the audio. Use capital letters correctly, like the months, dates, places, the government, something, for example, city council. You should write it with capital letters. Pay attention to that one. If you are not certain about it, you can write all of the letters with capital letters, but I advise you to use them correctly. Use the capital letters correctly. Yes, watch out for the distractor. You can hear like we were planning to do it on Monday. However, it was a rainy day, so we have decided to do it on Tuesday. So in this one, my answer is Tuesday, but I heard both Monday and Tuesday, so be careful about the distractors. And don't leave any question unanswered, because you won't lose points if you did it wrong, but make an educated guess and write an answer. Maybe you may get a point from there. On the computer based exam, do you mean, Suman? If you take the computer based exam, you will get your results in 3 days. And if you take the paper based exam, you will get your results in 13 days. Yes, it will be checked by computers. Do you have any other questions? Then I will continue. Yes. In here, let me Oops. Yes. It says, you will hear a conversation between two friends discussing about studying in the Open University. Listen to the voice record and complete the sentences below. Write no more than 2 words for each answer. So at most, we will hear 2 words. Now, I will I will open the audio, and when I hear the answer, I will stop the audio, and I am expecting you to write the answer from the chat part. Let me copy and paste the questions for you so you can listen to it clearly. Bunker and tubas. It depends on the questions. In most of the questions, for example, it says write no more than 2 words or an number. So it depends on the question mostly. That's why you should read the questions very carefully. I am sending the questions to you. That's why we are waiting. Below, yes. Here. Let's see the questions. Studying at the Open University demanded a great deal of working, studying, hardworking. So it will be a noun basically. Something maybe ing demanded a great deal of focus, great deal of something. So it will be a noun. One will be a noun. Two, studying and working at the same time improved Rachel's something skills. Rachel's grammar skills. So again, it will be a noun. And question 3, it says, it was helpful that the course was structured in details, structured in. I know that it won't be a verb, it will be a noun, or it will be an adjective maybe. And question 4, it says, she enjoys meeting with other students at cafeteria, at school, at somewhere, most probably at somewhere, at a place or at a time, on summer, on summer. I'm not sure, but it will be a noun, it can be a place, so I will be looking for these infos when I am listening to the audio. Yes, let's see one. Studying at Open University demanded a great deal of something. As I said, I will stop and I'm expecting you to write the answers from the chat bar, or you can open your microphone and say it too.
The other thing I wanted to ask you was, did you find it hard studying with the Open University?
You mean because you're studying on your own most of the time? Well, it took me a while to get used to it. I found I needed to maintain a high level of motivation because it's so different from school. There's no one saying,
Do you want to listen to it again? Because it is the first one. I will. Very good. Very good. Yes. If you want, we can listen to it again. Yes, very good. I have 2 answers. It says a great level of motivation. Okay, Studying and working at the same time improved Rachel's something skill.
The other thing I wanted to ask you was, did you find it hard studying with the Open University?
You mean because you're studying on your own most of the time? Well, it took me a while to get used to it. I found I needed to maintain a high level of motivation because it's so different from school. There's no one saying, "Why haven't you written your assignment yet?" and that sort of thing.
Oh, dear.
You'll learn it, Paul. Another thing was that I got very good at time management because I had to fit time for studying round a full-time job.
Well, I'm hoping to change to working part-time, so...
Very good, Vikrant. Very good. And I'm checking spellings too. Time management. Very good. Everyone is doing it correctly. I'm so glad to see that. Yes, it is studying and working at the same time improved Rachel time management skills. Yes. Let's continue.
I had to fit time for studying round a full-time job.
Well, I'm hoping to change to working part-time, so that'll help.
What makes it easier is that the degree is made up of modules, so you can take time off between them if you need to. It isn't like a traditional 3 or 4 year course.
Yes. Very good. It was helpful that the course was structured in modules. So you don't have to it says so it is not a conversational. It was helpful that the course was structured in modules. So you can take time when you need it. Very good, Vikrant, Osama, Anna, Suman, Rukesh. Thank you for the answers. Let's continue.
What makes it easier is that the degree is made up of modules, so you can take time off between them if you need to. It isn't like a traditional 3 or 4 year course where you've got to do the whole thing of it in one go.
Oh, that's good, because I'd like to spend 6 months traveling next year.
Huh, it's all right for some. Then, even though you're mostly studying at home, remember you've got tutors to help you, and from time to time there are summer schools. They usually last a week. They're great because you meet all the other people struggling with the same things as you.
Oh.
I've made some really good friends that way.
Sounds good. So how do I apply?
Very good, Aryan. Very good, Vikrant. Mukesh, why did you say home? Did you hear home? I don't remember. Very good, Osama. Let's listen to it again.
Summer schools, they usually...
Next year.
Huh, it's all right for some. Then, even though you're mostly studying at home, remember you've got tutors to help you, and from time to time there are summer schools. They usually last a week. They're great because you meet all the other people struggling with the same things as you.
Oh.
I've made some really good friends that way.
Sounds good. So how do I apply?
Yes, so the answer for my last question is summer schools. I advise you to write them in the way that you heard them. In the listening, we heard it like the summer schools. So we should write it as summer schools. Very good, everyone. Yes. Do we have any questions? Was it clear? How was it? Rukesh, do you want to say something? Okay, let's go to our next question. Let me see, how can I send it to you? This is a little bit difficult. I have taken it from a section for audio. Yes, right? Yes. It says you will hear a professor giving an introductory lesson about the similar archaeological lessons. It is taken from the audio 4, so it will be a little bit difficult. First, I have taken from the real Cambridge test, so it says complete the notes below. First, it says write one word only for each answer. This is for you to practice a real test. It says seminar on rock art. It says preparation for the field trip to Namibia in school, or it will be at school on Monday in 1994. So maybe it will be a time. And it says rock art in Namibia, maybe painting or engravings. Okay. Earliest explanation of engravings of animal footprints. In this one, you should expect to heard the key points, keywords here. It says earliest explanation of engravings of animal footprints. Okay, I have that one. They were used to help someone. It should be someone. They were used to help people learn about tracking. But why are the tracks usually colorful, usually unrealistic, for example? So I should expect to hear some adjective, maybe. Let me write them to here. I think 31 will be a time. 32, they were used to help people to someone, I think. 33, why the tracks are usually an adjective, why the tracks are usually painted. Then, why are some engravings realistic and others unrealistic? Okay. Why are the unrealistic animals sometimes half again? Maybe I should expect an adjective, half colorful. Today I'm in an creative mode. Let me see. Most recent explanation: wise men may have been trying to control wild animals with something. So yes, 35 will be a noun. 36, and we have a comment, but it is not important. Then we have complete the sentences below questions. I will send you these questions. It says write one word only for each answer. If you come across with the complete the sentence, complete the notes part at the section 4, you will most probably see it. You can write only one word option, because audio will be more difficult, so they will ask you to only write one word or a number. In this one, they are not asking for numbers. They are only, it only says write one word only for each answer. So we will write one word. They will be words, not some numbers or something. And let's see. It says, if you look at a site from a hill, you reduce visitor pressure. So it will be maybe a noun. Let me see. If you look at a site from a hill, from a window, from a car, I expected it to be a noun. You reduce visitors' pressure. Okay. To camp on a site may be disrespectful to people from that region, from that culture or something, from that region. So I'm just making it up. I'm trying to find the correct form of the word to put there. So maybe while I'm listening to the audio, I can pay attention to these words. And when I am writing, I can understand that this is not the type of the word that I'm looking for. So maybe I heard two words. I can write the correct one if I know the version of the word. 38. Undiscovered material may be damaged by something. Again, it may be damaged by people, damaged by wind, damaged by time. You should avoid something or tracking rock art as it is so fragile. You should avoid something again. Maybe some word verb in like the tracing, tracing. Maybe I can hear something like that. And for the 40, in general, your aim is to leave the site untouched. Your aim is to leave the site clear. I think we will see an adjective here. Let me think a noun. In general, your aim is to leave the site something. Maybe it can be a noun too. We will see it while we are listening to the audio. So I will open it here. The questions come in the same order, and you can only write one word only for each answer. I will stop the audio when I heard the answer, and I will ask it to you. So if you're ready, let's start.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the first seminar in preparation for our archaeological fieldwork in Namibia. We are fantastically lucky to have received partial research funding for this trip from our institute, so I shall expect 200% attention and participation from you all. First, in this seminar, I'm going to give a brief introduction to contemporary research on rock art, and in the second part, I'm going to give you some do's and don'ts for our fieldwork trip in April, so please listen very carefully.
Very good, Osama. Very good, Anna. Very good, Vikrant. Yes, it says our trip to Namibia in April. Very good that you can catch that.
I'm first going to focus on the interpretation of rock art in Namibia. We are very fortunate to be going to an area where you can find some of the most important sites in the entire world. And I hope to show you how easy it is for everyone to make mistakes in looking at cultures which are different from our own, the first and most important lesson we have to learn. In Namibia, there are both paintings and engravings. That's where the surface of the rock is cut out. Many of the engravings show footprints of animals, and most scholars used to think that the purpose of these was simple and obvious. This rock art was like a school book with pictures to teach children about tracks, which track belonged to which animal, giraffe, lion, and so on.
Let's say it is scholars. This makes sense too, actually. My correct answer is children. Let me see. They were used to help children learn about tracking. Let's put it here, school. They were used to help school learn about tracking, so it doesn't help me. But the children is correct, but let me take it a little bit back so we can listen to it again. Very good. When we heard the children, I will continue for the question 3, so pay attention.
Cut out. Many of the engravings show footprints of animals, and most scholars used to think that the purpose of these was simple and obvious. This rock art was like a school book with pictures to teach children about tracks, which track belonged to which animal, giraffe, lion, and so on. But there were some mysteries. First, when you look at a typical Namibian painting or engraving, you see the tracks are repeated. There are dozens of tracks for the same animal. You'd expect just one clear illustration if the reason...
You are doing great. Yes, it says, why are the tracks are usually repeated? If they are teaching to children, learn the animal tracks. Yes.
mysteries. First, when you look at a typical Namibian painting or engraving, you see the tracks are repeated. There are dozens of tracks for the same animal. You'd expect just one clear illustration if the reason, the aim was to teach tracking. Now, there were two more problems. Why are some of the engravings of animals very accurate, as you'd expect, all clearly identifiable, and others quite unrealistic? And another mystery. Some of these unrealistic animals, that's in the engravings, seem to be half human. Some, for example, have got human faces.
Very good. Yes, I think it was a little bit more easier than the other questions. Yes. Why are the unrealistic animals sometimes half human? Okay. More recent explanation, wise men may have been trying to control wild animals with a something with something.
Many researchers now think that these were pictures the wise men engraved of themselves. They believed they could use magic to control the animals they had drawn, so the hunters could then catch them for food. Half human. Some, for example, have got human faces. Many researchers now think that these were pictures the wise men engraved of themselves. They believed they could use magic to control the animals they had drawn, so the hunters could then catch them for food. This shows you some of the dangers of coming from one culture to another, as we'll be doing, without understanding it fully. Scholars imagined that children looked at rock art pictures to learn to track, just because they themselves had learnt skills from pictures. Many researchers now believe that rock art had a much more complex purpose, and we'll talk more about it next week.
Now, very good, by the way. This is a part 4 question, part 4 audio, and you are doing it great. You are going great. Now, we have the other part of the our listening. It is complete the sentences below. This time I will send you this one. If you look aside from something, you reduce visitors' pressure. To camp on a site may be disrespectful to people from that something. Undiscovered material may be damaged by fire, wind, time. You should avoid something or tracing rock art as it is so fragile. And 40, in general, your aim is to leave the site against something. Let's hear it.
Now, before I invite you to join in a discussion in this second part of the seminar, I'd like to make some very important points about our fieldwork, and in fact any field trip to look at rock art. We're going to a number of sites, and we won't always be together. The single largest problem faced by people who manage the sites is, yes, I'm sure you've guessed, damage caused by visitors, even though it's usually unintentional. Whenever you do go to a site, don't forget you can learn many things from observing at a distance, instead of walking all over it. This can really help to reduce visitor pressure.
Very good. And then let me see. Oh, it is a little bit. Yes, for the 36, I said noun. Distance is a noun too. So we are doing great.
You can learn many things from observing at a distance, instead of walking all over it. This can really help to reduce visitor pressure. People often say, well, there's only 2 of us, and just this one time. But maybe thousands of people are saying the same thing. And then, some basic rules to guide you. We'll have our own camp near a village, but remember never to camp on a site if you go on your own. It may be disrespectful to the people of that culture. And certainly don't make fires, however romantic it may seem.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 answers. This is great. It may be disrespectful to the people from that culture. Undiscovered material may be damaged by something.
People often say, well, there's only 2 of us, and just this one time. But maybe thousands of people are saying the same thing. And then, some basic rules to guide you. We'll have our own camp near a village, but remember never to camp on a site if you go on your own. It may be disrespectful to the people of that culture, and certainly don't make fires, however romantic it may seem. It's really dangerous in dry areas, and you can easily burn priceless undiscovered material by doing so. So, how are we going to enjoy the rock?
Very good, my students. Yet it is fire. By doing so, it says by doing so, by doing what? By making fire. And it says write only one word, so we can only write fire or fires. It doesn't matter. By fire, I think it in the audio we hear fire, so we are writing fire. Okay, you should avoid something or tracing rock art as it is so fragile.
however romantic it may seem. It's really dangerous in dry areas, and you can easily burn priceless undiscovered material by doing so. So, how are we going to enjoy the rock art on our field trip? By looking at it, drawing it, and photographing it. Never by touching it or even tracing it. Rock art is fragile and precious.
Yes, by looking and drawing. No, it doesn't say drawing. I thought it can be like drawing. You can draw it on yourself on your notebook or something. But yes, but never touching or even tracing. So it is. You should avoid touching or tracing rock art as it is so fragile.
Looking at it, drawing it, and photographing it. Never by touching it or even tracing it. Rock art is fragile and precious. Remember that climbing on rocks and in caves can destroy in a moment what has lasted for centuries. So no heroics in Namibia, please. Try to be extra careful and help others to be too. Oh, and lastly, please don't even move rocks or branches to take photographs. You should leave the site intact. I'm sure I can rely on you to do that.
Yes, my students, you are great. It says leave the site intact. In general, your aim is to leave the site intact. So it is a like I am putting it, but most probably they will put that because maybe I couldn't put it or so, I don't know. But in the exam, you don't have to put a dot or something. And it says, in general, your aim is to leave the site intact. Yes, I think so too. There are so many paraphrasing, but because it is only asking for one word, you can understand it. Did I write which book? No, I haven't. I don't know, but it is from section 4. Let's finish our listening.
Well, that's about all I want to say before today's first discussion. But if you have any questions, please ask them now. Oh, and don't forget you'll find some fascinating information about worldwide sites on the internet. Right, first question.
Yes, my students, this was the section 4 audio, and we have done it so successfully. I am very proud of you. Why is it says 3 or 5? I don't know. We have done all of them. It doesn't matter. Okay. And before you go, I will send you a document, a survey. It will only last for like 30 seconds or something, so you can evaluate the lesson. If you have any recommendation for us, please write it. Thank you very much for coming. And also, I will share our library materials with you. Where is it? Yes, from the link. Thank you very much too. From the link, you can see our practice materials too. Let me see. Today we have done listening. From the listening, you can find the where is it? It wasn't short answer. It's coming. Where is it? I couldn't find the sentence completion questions, but it is here somewhere. You will see it, don't worry. And you can find it. Thank you very much for joining too. Please remember to do our survey too. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for your time too. It is so precious for me to you to join and attend the lessons. Take care of yourself. When you have finished the survey, you can leave.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you too.